Hello guys, welcome back. It's Vegas D-Tech's Joey again, and today's Tech Talk is going to be how much do we anticipate the launching of the new Nokta Makro Multi? How much do we think that it's going to be? You know, we can only guess right now. We have 3 days till its launch and we'll know exactly what it's going to be. But right now, as a guess, do you guys have a guess as to how much this item is going to be? I have my own little formula that I'm actually using here, and I got a cheat sheet with the flow chart to it so I can stay on track. And we're saying that We're saying that as far as D-Lec is telling us, she tells us that its only competitor is going to be the Minelab Equinox 800, right? And the Minelab Equinox 800 is $900 detector. I've seen it for $1,000, I've seen it for $800, this and that, but really the point, if you're not buying into all the crap, the pinpointer, the wireless headphones, all this other crap, if you're just getting just the basic core unit, you're looking at $900 for it, okay? No open box, nothing like that. So, you know, with a marketing background here, I have a general idea in marketing. We have what's called a loss leader, okay? If you guys know what loss leaders are. You know, a lot of restaurants use loss leaders where, you know, I worked at Olive Garden, you know, as a bartender server, and, you know, the loss leader there was their soup salad and breadsticks, which, what is that, like $8.99? I mean, how does the restaurant make any money on $8.99? They don't. They want you to come in, they use that as a loss leader. Sure, there's some people that are going to come and eat that, but there's going to be other people on that table that don't want that, and they're going to buy the more pricier dishes, so loss leader. In my opinion, the Simplex was a loss leader, or could have been a loss leader for Nokta Makro. And how do I figure this? Okay, look. Let's take a look at this. In 2018, when that detectable clip came out, they brought out the Simplex at that time. D-Lec turned around and pulled up the multi-frequency at that time. They had the multi-frequency. Maybe it wasn't fully developed. Maybe it wasn't even, it was just a shell. I don't know what she had in her hand, if it was working. It even had the coil of the Simplex on it. So, and we all know that the Simplex coil is not multi-freak, so I don't know what that was all about. But she said she had that detector. Well, obviously the detector was available at the same time that the Simplex was available. Okay? So if they had it that whole time, and they had all this time to develop it, the Simplex right now is running $249. Now guys, all BS aside, that Simplex, bang for your buck, you cannot find a better detector that offers you the feature-rich features that it has for $250, man. I mean, the design is high-tech, the shaft is collapsible. You know, it's a high-tech tube design that's collapsible with the little cam locks on it. Not the old twisty locks, but actually, you know, folding locks, which is absolutely great because you could easily transportable. And the housing is waterproof, man, not water resistant. And you got people with detectors, they're afraid they get a little bit of a rain, they want to go away because their detector is, you know, not going to be able to sustain just a little bit of rain. Everybody freaks out. Oh, the sprinkler's coming on me. I got to run away here because my detector's not waterproof. Jesus, man. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if that's the technology that we had for that price point, the Simplex came with a waterproof, you know, housing, and it had vibration. It had a lighted LCD backlight on it. It even had a flashlight and had wireless capability. My God, man, for everything that it gives you for $249, it looked like that was a loss leader. Because clearly, man, at the time, if you take a look at the competition at the time, this detector could have easily sold for $100 to $150 more and done quite well in the market. So the Simplex, man, for what it was offering, if it came in at $300, $350, it would have still sold, man. But you know what? they had that whole marketing strategy of, we don't just want to, you know, in a fight with our competition, we're in a fight. We're not just looking at giving you that left hook to say that we are on par with you, we can compete with you with that left hook. We want to be able to put the market down with the left hook and the right cross. Now, how is the right cross in marketing happen? The right cross is we're able to give you all the products, if not more, and we're going to just end it right here. We're going to offer it substantially less. We're going to come under your price point. What was out there? What was out there for $250? Or what is even out there right now for $250 that has the same kind of abilities? Zero. Now, the other thing to take a look at when you're talking about price point and being able to undercut your market and using a loss leader is, let's take a look at the GDP of countries. Okay, GDP, guys, is how much a country's total worth is as far as producing things, how much that country is worth in production. Okay, so let's take a look at the leading nations that make metal detectors right now. You got US, right, with all of the Technetics, you know, First Texas stuff. You got the Garrett stuff. You got the white stuff that's coming out. These are the products that were, you know, big in America for American brands, right? And then Australia, of course. Australia is what? Minelab, okay? And then you've got France with the Deus, you know, XP coming out of France. And then Turkey comes out. I never even heard of Turkey. I couldn't even imagine that Turkey would come on the scene with a detector. Okay, so let's take a look at the GDP of all these countries. All right, Australia's GDP is $1.3 trillion. France, $2.6 trillion. United States, $20 trillion. Okay, and then we take in Turkey. Turkey comes in at $720 billion. 3/4 of a trillion. America's at 20 trillion. Okay, so if you take a look at the GDP of a country, it costs more to produce things in these, you know, first world countries, because we got to pay a higher wage to people in order to make these items, right? So the price point for these items are going to cost more. So Turkey is going to be able to offer a product for substantially less. Their GDP is much lower. How does GDP translate to how much they pay their employees? Well, taking a look at Google here, I tallied up what is the minimum wage in Turkey right now. And it says that in the minimum wage in Turkey is 440 euro per month. 440 euro translates to roughly $500 a month. That's the minimum wage for the typical employee in Turkey. Okay? What is the minimum wage in Australia, France, and US? It can't even compare, right? So the cost of goods are going to be way more. So the Simplex, either A, they were able to provide this because the cost of their goods to pay, the labor to pay to get it done is considerably cheaper, and being that their GDP is so much lower, they're able to provide products at a cheaper price. Okay? So so what happens here when Simplex finally decided to launch and say they're offering this product for $249? I'm sure the CEO of all these other companies like Minelab and Garrett, you know, and Technetics, everybody was like, oh wow, Jesus, man, dude, the days of living fat on old technology is over. Who are these guys from Turkey that are coming on the scene providing this detector for $250 with all those features? How in the hell are they doing that? And how are we going to be able to stay afloat in the market? Yet we've been riding high off our laurels of, you know, the USA flag, made in America. Dude, that used to mean a whole lot of things. It don't really mean a whole lot right now. You know what I mean? Because we don't really produce anything. I mean, like, the big GDP of America right now is technology and all of our social media platforms, you know, computer software. I mean, this is the stuff that makes America great, you know, but as far as actually producing stuff and selling it, we don't even do any of that stuff anymore. You know, so taking a look at the GDP of these countries and the wages paid to their employees, they're able to come in under the radar with a lower price point. Now, Minelab was the closest company that I saw with something to offer in its price range with the Vanquish line. Now, what did the Vanquish have in competition to the Simplex? The biggest thing that Vanquish had, if it didn't have this, it wouldn't be nothing. It wouldn't be nothing. Vanquish would just look like a damn toy, as far as I'm concerned. Vanquish came in because it offered basically the same a simultaneous multi-frequency as the Equinox. That was a big one. That was the big deal right there that got them on board and kept them afloat. Now, with the Vanquish line, they came in, they played that tier role, you know, good, better, best thing. I mean, if you wanted to come in with the 340 Vanquish, 340 Vanquish came in at what? $199. You just got the basic core detector. That's a guy, turn it on and just start sweeping, basically kind of features. Then the 440 offered a little bit more, you know, as far as segment discrimination patterns and a couple little bit more features on that. And then it goes to the 540, which gave you the backlight, more segment discrimination, and then wireless headphone options. And then they went to the 540 Pro Pack, which offered 2 coils and the wireless headphones. But it just kept on stacking, another 100, another 100, another 100, trying to climb it. They did it in small. That was their marketing ploy, was to offer the 340 as the entry level and then loss leader it up to the big wage. Okay, so that was cool. There was a couple of things about the Vanquish where they put all of their money went into the simultaneous multi-freak, which is the technology and I believe the coil. Because as far as the construction of that detector, it was suspect to me. You know what I mean? I mean, God, it did look like a toy. I don't know where they came up with this red color that looks like something, you know, from Matchbox or Tonka. You know what I mean? That red plastic. It looked really toyish, okay? And as far as that housing was concerned, it looked like kind of a ripoff of the AT stuff, the Ace stuff from Garrett. You know, when you looked at that design, just the whole thing with the battery in it like that, I think they would have been better off using the X-terra box. The X-terra box is only this wide, like it's like this wide, this thick. You know what I mean? And it had batteries too. You know, of course, it wasn't fully waterproof. That was one of the downfalls for it. But the box was much smaller. The thing I didn't like about that Vanquish, build quality wise, it was close in value, but in construction, no. Because the way that box was integrated, you had the box. The shaft came into the box right here, and then the handle came into the box right here, right? So while you're holding on to that handle, you're bouncing up and down. The weight of that thing there is flexing on that handle right here. So you have a break point right there. And then as you're sweeping side to side, you've got that flex point right there. And at any point in time, if that thing were to break in that area, that was the weak point. If that were to break, bro, that is not a repairable thing. You'd have to send that thing back to Minelab, and I don't know what they would even charge for a repair like that, being that you'd have to get an entirely new control box. You know, I just never liked that. When I took a look at it, I'm like, why would they do that? Why would they make the handle, you know, come in this way and then the actual shaft join it right there and put the control box right in the middle of it right there? I didn't like that. You know what I mean? And like sometimes, man, Minelab takes shortcuts, especially with the Equinox, man. I felt like they put all of their money into the actual control box and the coil, and they put nothing into the shaft. You know what I mean? So, God, these companies, they take shortcuts somewhere. They can't give it to you all the way. But I felt that you know, Nokta Makro gave it to you all the way in that Simplex. Now, that being said, what is the price point going to be on the new Detector? Well, all things being said, if they're using the loss leader approach, they're targeting the Equinox 800 at $900. They could either say, hey, look, man, we took a loss on the Simplex by about 100 to 150 bucks. We're going to take that loss and we're gonna stack it onto the new multi-freak. So what we lost on the Simplex, we're going to make back on the multi-freak. And if that's the case, then their goal is to actually bring the Detector in for the exact same price as an 800. And they're going to ride on, we have more features, okay, we have the latest tech, more features, our build quality is better, and we're going to offer it, our competitors, the 800, we're going to ride on the fact that I think that our Detector is going to sell better than yours. That'll get them on board. That'll get people to look their way, and because the Simplex did so good, I see no reason why people wouldn't want to buy that Detector. But if that's the left hook. Okay, the left hook is, we got all of the features, and we can do it for the same amount of money. We have all the features and more We're offering and more. That's the left hook. That gets them on board. That gets them as a serious contender. But what about being the heavyweight champion of the metal detecting world? That's going to require the left hook, right cross. What's the right cross going to be? The right cross is doing it for less. Okay? So doing it for less would put it at what? If the Equinox 800 is coming in at $900, that would have to put this detector in the price range to beat them to the punch, really beat them, between $700 to $800. Left hook, right cross. That's my take on it, guys. What say you? Share your thoughts. How much do you think that this new detector is going to cost when it comes out? Is it going to be the exact same? It can't be more. I don't think that it would be more. I mean, what would be the marketing strategy of offering it for more? At that point, if you're climbing over $1,000, man, you're almost looking at the Deus 2 at this point. Save a little bit more money and go for Deus 2, because I mean that thing is stacked with everything, and I heard that's the one to get if you want to spend $1,500. But for sub 1,000, if Nokta Makro does its marketing in one of two ways, using the loss leader approach of stacking the money lost on the Simplex and putting it on the Multi-Freak, then it'll be priced exactly the same as the 800. If they're going to come back and win that title completely and try to knock 800, the Nokta out of if they're going to come back and try to knock the Equinox out of the water, then they're going to offer the detector with all more advanced features, and they're going to do it for less. And I'm pricing it between $700 to $800, man. I mean, that's my take on it. So anyways, folks, thank you again for tuning in to another video, another Tech Talk. And I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you guys are doing well out there. You guys take it easy. I will see you guys on the next video. Bye now.